Hello and welcome back. So, time to show you what this project's going to be. So now we're starting to go into if statements. So, welcome to the even odd program. We'll enter a whole number. Okay, the whole number is 20. The number is even. Exit code 0. Let's do this again. Enter a whole number. 31. The number is odd. Program ended with exit code 0. Okay? And there is going to be this funny little error that, enter a number, and it'll think it's even. But, we're just going to ignore that little error, and we're just going to make ourselves a code here that will do this. So as always, start with a new C++, and let's delete all that inside there. And as always, let's, start by telling them where they're at. Welcome, helps when I can spell, welcome to the even odd program. And /n/n for space, semicolon. We're good. So, obviously, we're going to make an integer, and it's going to, we'll just name it my number. You don't have to use the same naming conventions I do, just, know that you need to do that. So, and obviously, we're going to have them have to type in a number. You should already know how to declare variables and how to type stuff out and see out, so I shouldn't have to be saying this. So, enter a whole number. And of course, Cin, remember the arrows go the other way, and they're entering the my number. Helps when I name it the exact same thing that I had beforehand. There we go. So now, we already know how to do all this. Now it's time for the new stuff. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to go through if statements. So what are if statements? If statements are a condition. So if blank, then blank. So think of it like this. Mario. We've all played a Mario game, right? If you hit the A button, what does Mario do? He jumps. But Mario doesn't jump when he's in the air. So if Mario is on the ground, and if you press the A button, then he jumps. Oh, but there's a little bit more to that, right? Because if you hold the button, you're going to jump higher. Or else if you just give it a tap, you get a short jump. Oh, but what about triple jumping? Okay, so if you've done another A press as you successfully landed, then you get a double jump and then you get a triple jump or whatever, and each one successively is higher. Oh, but what if you bounce off a wall? Well, then you do a wall jump. And you see how it is? There's just 20, 30, 40 different if statements in a row that just determines how Mario jumps. But it's all conditions. It's either true or false, yes or no, on or off. So this is what we're going to do. So basically, if you want to think of it this way, an if statement is a Boolean. If it's true, it will do what it needs to do. If false, it won't, and I'll show that to you. So if, you see how it turned pink? There you go, so it's an if statement. So if, and I'm going to put a condition in here, so if my number, modular division is 2, double equals 0. So, there's a lot to unpack right here in this one thing. First off, I'm using modular division again. So if it's divisible by 2 and we get a 0. So obviously, if you divide something by 2 and there's no remainder, it's an even number, right? So we'll just go and, say something like, oops, I was just going to start doing STD again for standard, but count, okay, number is even. So, obviously that works. But, what is this double equals? Because before we're used to saying something like, int example, we're used to saying int example equals 3 or whatever. We're used to something like that. We use a single equal sign for that. What is this double equal sign? Well, the single equals tells you exactly what it is. Example is 3. I am declaring it. I am telling the computer, hey, whatever this box is, whatever this variable is, it is a 3. The double equals is checking to see if it is, okay? It's looking for a comparison. Double equals compares, single equal declares, okay? So you'll use a double equal sign if you're checking to see if something is something, okay? So, and we can just turn on interactive mode, execute it. So if I go and say, I forgot to put in a semicolon? What happened before that? Unexpected that before that. Oh. Forgot the semicolon there. There we go. Enter a whole number. 2. Number is even. So if this is true, it goes down and prints this. But if it's not even, it doesn't do that. So that is how a logic chain will work. So if this is true, remember here, guys, if our Boolean, okay, if true, do what's inside. If false, skip. Okay? So it skipped this line because it was false that time, and there was nothing else there. Now, we could make ourselves another if statement and check to see if, divide by 2 equals 1, but I'm going to instead do a else if, okay? Because this is a chain, and if I attach an else if to it, it will count all of this as still part of the same chain. So else if, my number modular division 2 double equals 1. Oh, actually, no, hold up. I'm going to do something different. If it does not equal 0. Okay, exclamation mark equal means not equal to. So if it's not equal to 0, okay, here, I'll even put that in there. Exclamation mark equal means not equal to. Okay? Then it'll say cout number is odd /n/n. And remember to put the semicolon there, David, because you screwed that up before. So now if I put, 97, it'll now say number is odd. So what happened is it checked this first, because it happens first. Remember, computers go line 1, line 2, they go like that. It checked this and said, is this true? No. So it skipped this. But then it came across this. Oh, else if, is this true? Well, yes. Then it printed this. Now, as I showed you before, the next bit is not going to work because, just the way the coding is, right now it treats any sort of number, any sort of symbol or letter, anything that is not a number, it treats it like a 0. So 0 modular division 2 is going to equal 0. So, it's always going to say it's even if we get something that's weird. But I want you to get into the habit of doing else. And we'll put a cout, and we'll say error /n/n, because you know that clearly we didn't do something. So what is else? Because before I did else if. Well, else if is another condition. So if this condition, we move here. If this condition, we move here. Else is everything else. So else is everything else. So if this condition is false and this condition is false, we don't care what other condition we have. It's something else. So therefore, every other possible answer, we would get an error. Now, obviously, we're not going to get an error on this program, So, I'm not gonna, even if I try really hard and say, try, 1, blah, 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 it'll say number is odd. Okay? Because I put a number in before it got to all the gibberish. Now, if I try to do this and say, blah, 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 4, blah, 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 5, number is even. Okay? It's literally just going to give me complete gibberish. And it's going to say number is even. Okay? That's because the way this program counts it, it's counting this as a 0. It's counting all those numbers as zeros, and it's just trying to fix it. Now, we could, in theory, do a bunch more coding to stop people from, entering numbers, period. But, we're not going to worry about that, okay? That is far above and beyond an intro course, so we're just going to start with just the simple if statements. And we realize that they are Boolean in nature, that they are conditional, so they will only go on to the thing like this. Oh, the other thing you should notice. So if I were to do, say, 4, number is even. It doesn't matter. Even if I do this again. Let's just say I say equal, let's say if I do this is the exact same condition. Divide by 2, and modular division 2 equals 0, modular division 2 equals 0. So in theory, you'd think I'd say even odd, right? Well, if I hit 4, you'll notice it says number is even. But it never says number is odd, even though that same condition is still true. An if statement, and I will put this in a little comment here just so everyone knows this. If statements stop after the first true answer. So it doesn't matter that this is true. Because this one was true, it went, oh, hey, that else, I don't care about any of these now because they are now true. I found my first true answer. That's all I care about. So I'm going to skip the rest of this. So, and if statements will stop after the first true answer. So tell you what, now that I have this as double equals as well, I bet you if I did a 1, now it'll go to the error. Because it wasn't this, it must be something else. But, let's actually have it calculate odd numbers correctly. So, we're going to do that. And number is odd. So, that's all you have to do. That's it. That is literally the first if statement program you're going to make. So, we've actually learned quite a lot. We've learned about Booleans, and you learned how if statements only get the first number. We learned about else if. We learned about else. And of course, reminder on modular division, sin, cout, all that sort of stuff. So, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.